is a journalist, a writer, and social commentator. Attributes that should earn him a good place in public life and probably open doors to a reasonable accumulation of wealth. But this Onitsha-born native of Anambra State in Nigeria's southeast makes haste to point out that vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. His first contact with philosophy that portrays him as a student of the biblical Ecclesiastes started when his parents, who put God first and worked hard to reap the fruits of divine guidance, introduced him quite early to a Christian livelihood. Welcome to the world of Obusom Anyaegbunam, who is grateful for the early influence which the Catholic Church and some Pentecostal leaning has left on his life.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm really amazed anyway that you should enlist me among those you felt should be a model.
Anyaegbunam, by virtue of regular behavior, has no identity without his humility. But positive character traits draw from a pool.
The first window of a child is the family, for whatever we want to say, and that's the first institution, the home. My father, up to his last days, was a very strict disciplinarian. Then my grandmother, who was the cradle actually. But within that setting, you may say it was a traditional setting, but the Catholic Church influence, which also rubbed into us from catechism, then we attend catechism, we follow the creed. Every other thing was around what? Probity and modesty, more or less.
We mentioned that Anyaegbunam is a journalist. Here in Nigeria, there is a syndrome that many journalists are warned to steer clear of: the brown envelope. Anyaegbunam encountered it several times, but his early Christian upbringing has always been there to help him fight a vice that has almost been pushed into the sphere of a normal occurrence.
Light attract light. That's what I would say. It takes two to tango. If within your disposition, I've been in a force, I've been on my own, I have actually, one way or the other, seen the good and the bad sides of Nigerian experience and those who will call for money. And so, okay, we want you to do this. But all the same, having had this upbringing, and then what even in his dream, my late father would say, has to be rubbed on me. And not only that, I have also been able, in the context of my educational, I started from history, have combined with political science, read law, then in the course of that, did works on journalism and the others, and continued up to that. The essence is this: when you reach a level, you will know what you want, and then this issue of let me say, we call it brown envelope. It's actually bribe in the context of it, because your conscience is at stake. White is white and red will be red. So if you compromise, tomorrow we've had instances of those who took this money. Within 2 or 3 years, some or even the person who gave you the money will say what he gave, and then there is always integrity and there is always ethics in going into any profession. And at a point in time, if you stand, like I said, if you have no wind blows in favor of a ship without a destination, if you have your ethics and professional conduct set to move and you are on it, then we know, we can't go to Chukudi for this, and so be it.
The forthright journalist, raised to respect the sanctity of life in line with divine laws, is not happy with the way things are going.
We have reached a level within our national context that a school proprietor will poison a 5-year-old innocent child. with rat poison because of money. And we kept quiet. Within the next week, teenagers came up that they have killed because of what? Rituals. And we have not bothered. Who are the parents and what happened within a school setting where a 5-year-old will be left without guidance?
Anyaegbunam, who has a number of publications to help both the legislator and their constituents to understand the process of work by the second estate of the realm, advises selflessness in service to humanity, noting that he is himself a beneficiary of such a gesture.
Today we are all rushing about what? MacArthur Foundation, Ford Foundation, and the rest of them. I myself was the beneficiary of Freddie Sheba Foundation. So how many Nigerians or how many Africans who made those wealth have legacy of what? Foundations and thinking of tomorrow?
He says those who feel attracted to wealth are free to be that way, but that happiness for the individual goes beyond wealth on its own sake.
The basic is this. In African leadership contest, one man still stands out, Julius Nyerere, the teacher and the humanist. Irrespective of the fact that yes, he ruled Tanzania as a one-party state. But Nyerere has an example of a head of state who begged a bank to relax his mortgage to pay his children's school fees. An African head of state.
Taken up on the seeming triumph of evil over good in quite a number of discomfiting cases, Anyaegbunam again had reason to refer to when priests and other persons in spiritual work largely influenced society for its own good.
When we had priests, if you go to every society, Nigerian civilization was driven by missionaries. Mary Celeste still has a place, and I don't think she ever spread money before any person. Mother Teresa is still what? An emblem, a global emblem of humanity. And they never did what? Displayed what? Wealth.
He has a piece of advice which requires those who have received faith injunctions from early life to continue to show the way to others.
If you are a Christian, you will know it is not what? Only by bread that you survive. And then within the Christian modern life of Christ in you, being Christ-like, then there will be modesty, and there will be what? Compassion, and there will be love, and then there will be consideration for the other person. You will see what? Your neighbor's so, and you will now have the conscience, then there is accountability really in the Christendom. You don't do what? Overstretch whatever you have in your hand, because you will see life as what? As a gift and opportunity of your life.
Obusom Anyaegbunam is still dedicated to living life in line with divine guidance garnered from teachings he took at catechism. That life, worthy of emulation, is noticed by others.
Emmanuel Anyaegbunam has brought to bear in a modern day society the beautiful upbringing he had several years ago. I can tell you sincerely, Emmanuel Anyaegbunam has character. He has integrity. His integrity is a collateral. You can take it to the bank.
Due to a combination of factors, Nigerians, more and more of them are losing that integrity test and character. But there are a few that have shown consistency in displaying exceptional and extraordinary high level of integrity. Emmanuel Anyaegbunam is one of them. He has indeed demonstrated in times, good and bad, that virtue is one that perhaps is inherent and innate in him.
Anyaegbunam is sworn to a noble and simple life, one that shuns greed. He got used to it from a youthful religious creed, which became solid faith.